don't know if I saw it earlier. Some people have already logged off. So Elena, the ones that logged off early, don't send them that million cash of DeMartini money.
We already opted them out, no worries. That just means more cash for the individuals who are on here, right? They get the cash, right?
Well, yeah, you'll reward the people that were on and stayed on. This is the DeMartini money that's coming to you, $1 million in cash and $1,000 units. So just to let you know that for enduring me for 4 hours straight without really a decent break.
Show it again. Show it again.
I'll just take a
Pardon me?
ticket to Sandra's house.
Show the money.
You want to see the money again?
Yeah. I have to show Braden.
Yeah. I figured I might as well just print it. I found it a lot easier than just, making it, just print it. So, was this course worth your time?
Yes.
I summarized quite a bit, yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say on here.
And while we did have one question from Sandra, if she'd like to
Right.
maybe choose how she and what she would love to ask. Sandra, over to you.
Sandra?
Thank you. Thank you, John, and everybody. This has been, as always, inspiring. Now, as you know, and as you say so many times, when you do the DeMartini method and you integrate the lopsided perceptions and you complete them, we go on to the next level of division, of course, and then again.
Yep.
Together. Now, when I see your diagrams, I pull back a bit. Is it wise to keep in mind that even the diagram with the up and down and the one side and the other, that in actuality, simultaneously, it is all happening at once? I mean, if I was there, I'd take your diagram and I'd go, can we put this and this together? And can we put this and this together? Just knowing that it's all within the grand organized design.
Okay, that's a good way, but I don't want to put them side by side, Sandra. Let's just do another diagram.
Thank you. That was the rest of the question. Is there anything else to consider with this so that it is
So
not oversimplified?
Yeah. Well, let me just do a little drawing here if I can get this thing to draw. All right, get to draw now, John. Okay.
I mean, we are in the essence of being and the existence of becoming. It is happening simultaneously, is it?
Okay, so let me just get this straight. So here's the down and here's the up that I use of yourself or others. Okay, but so is it here. Why is my pen not working? Hold on a minute. Let me electromagnetically stimulate this one here. Okay, and over here too. And over here too. So every time you take your pride and your shame and your infatuation, which generates the shame, and your resentment, which means you're extrinsically driven. This is extrinsic, and you equilibrate them by doing the DeMartini method. In that moment, you make a quantum jump and start your next judgment. Now, this is timeless. And this is timeful, the judgment. And this is timeful. So for all practical purpose, a moment of grace and a moment of these moments of disgrace seem inseparable. Now, if you go to the next one, you do the same thing again. So this is a timeful. And this is a timeless moment again. So you go through life and you have disgrace. Disgrace means futility, and grace means utility. Another way of saying it. I could give 1,000 names for it. So I don't want to give the impression that, well, when you finally get these things done, you're done, and now you're going to have grace. This is something you approximate. So you're going to approximate. And I like to think of it as an asymptote. If you study mathematics, an asymptote is something that approaches the y-axis from the x-axis and gets closer and closer and closer, but never touches. Now, the soul, from what we can tell, the highest frequency that we could have has a wavelength of Planck's length. That's the smallest known unit of wavelength that we know in frequency. So this is perceived as finite today, according to our mathematics. If there's something beyond that and it's still discontinuous, it's possible, but that seems to be what we call the soul. So anything smaller than that is called essence of being. Anything larger than that is existence of becoming. So that's the junction of the soul there. It's a particle, a Planck wavelength. And by the way, Planck's wavelength is called the quantum vacuum. That's the size of the quantum vacuum unit. And when it merges into pairs of opposites, it has the uncertainty principle. When it submerges back, it has the certainty principle. When it goes back, it goes through the Higgs boson. And when it comes out, it goes through the Higgs boson, which is a scalar. So this whole thing is scaled. Each of these little midpoints are called Higgs bosons. And like temperature, they're scaled. These are all vectors. So the actual evolvement is scalar, but the emotions are vectored. That's why you want to go where, when, etc. They're all vectors, which is mass times, remember, a vector deals with magnitude and direction, and that implies space and time, and velocity and position. And that's all the existential world of phenomenal world. So vectors and scalars are needed in the study of this. But we approximate and go towards this asymptote, the soul. But once we get to a point where the wavelength is the width of the soul, we have what is called enlightenment. The anima mundi, the world soul. Now, we're not going to learn that probably in our life. Man hasn't even got out of the solar system yet. We're probably another 100 years to get out of the solar system. But somewhere along the line, we're going to realize we're going to love this earth. We're going to realize how to govern it. We're not going to be emotionally distraught by it. The people way down at the bottom are going to live in utopia and dystopias. The people at the top are going to live in a state where they have grace and awareness. There'll be few. You have the many down below, and you got the few at the top, or one at the top. So I don't want to give you the impression that, you know, this is bad and this state's good. The idea of good and bad have no meaning to enlightenment.
Thank you.
In fact,
That's important.
it's acausal. Acausal is a transcendent morality. Causal is a moral structure. It's a moral hypocrisy. I was reading Scientific American this morning, March edition. I just finished it. And I got the April in also this morning. And it has a little line. There's one little line in there. One little line. that talked about that as long as you have a false attribution bias. See, this is, when you do this, can you get a copy of this, Elena? Pardon me for going over. I do have a
Me too.
5:30 meeting.
That's
I'll have to
okay.
go
Give me
too.
2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds and I will grab it for you right now. And 1, 2, all done.
Okay, good. Okay, this is causal. This is acausal. Wisdom is acausal. It's a synthesis and synchronous of opposites. There's no causality. In order to have causality, you have to have existential states. You have to have extension. Here we just have essence. If it's spaceless and timeless, we have no causality. The universal law of causality is only in the existential world of the phenomenal. This is the phenomenal world. This is the nominal world. The nominal world is non-causal. I had a debate with the Yale professor, and I told him there is a causal state. He says, no one can get to the acausal state. I said, I know a way. He says, no, you don't. And I said, yes, I do. He says, well, Immanuel Kant says you can't obtain it. He didn't know how to do it. I found a way. You're stuck in the dialectic. There's a new way. I don't know. I'm going to chip away at him until he gets it and has an experience. Now, watch carefully. If you are infatuated with somebody, you believe they caused you pleasure or caused you positive. And if you are resentful to somebody, you think that they caused you pain and negative. Let me understand that. And you go through blame and credit. And this is a false attribution bias and a false attribution bias. And that's the victim mentality. Victim mentality. Now, when people blame somebody, they search for somebody to give credit to. So instead of looking within, they look outside. Anytime you blame something on the outside, you look for something as a credit on the outside. So if medicine comes along and says the virus is the cause and the drug is the solution, they've just disempowered you. You blame something on the outside, they give credit to something on the outside. A false attribution bias, a false attribution bias. Here's a false attribution bias on the positive, and here's a false attribution bias on the negative. These are called causal. And causals all deal with law. The whole world of the lawyer is a causal world. But what happens if all of a sudden you do columns 2 and 9? Go to a moment where and when you perceive yourself displaying or demonstrating the same specific trait in action as before. And now the self and the other are equal. The self and the other are equal. This column right here, the first column is column 1. This is column 8. When you do the equal, that's column 2. When they're equal, this is column 2, or column 9. When you find the drawbacks to the positive, that's column 3. When you find the positives to the negatives, that's column 10. When you find the positives to the negatives in yourself, that's column 11. When you find the drawbacks to yourself, that's column 4. When you find out where they do the exact opposite trait, that's column 5. And you find out where they do the opposite of the trait, that's column 12. When you find the synthesis and synchronicity of opposites, it's column 13 and 6. If they had done the exact opposite at the same time, guess what? That is the negatives to these side. That's column 14. And the positives to this side. That's column 7. When you have the fear of loss of other than self or self, that's column 19 to 22. Self, 19 to 22. When you think you gained something, it's the other columns, 15 to 18. Fear of loss, fear of gain. The 𝐒𝐒-𝐉𝐄 method is based on the integration of complementary opposites. It's a science. Much of the psychology out there, there's bits and pieces in psychology, cognitive reappraisals, looks for the negatives and the positives, reflective awareness. There's bits and pieces in psychology, but no one's put that succinctly and scientifically reproducibly into a form. So the 𝐒𝐒-𝐉𝐄 method is the way to awaken the soul and to take it phenomenal to the nominal, from the causal to the acausal. Carl Jung talked about the acausal world with Wolfgang Pauli. And I said that no therapy is ever complete till cause equals effect in space-time, until you realize that you're the cause of your own illusion. Because if you go in there and find out where you've done it, and you find out the benefit of what they did, and the benefit of you did, and where they did the opposite, and if they had done the opposite, would have been the benefit, and who did the opposite, there's nothing there to judge in the first place. The strife within yourself and between you and others disappears, and there's love. I've worked on this for nearly 50 years. This will, at the end of the year, will be 50 years. I guarantee the science of it. Raise your hand if you understand that. The 𝐒𝐒-𝐉𝐄 method is a way of awakening the soul, the authentic self. And I guarantee you, your authentic self has nothing but grace and love in it. It's inspired. It has enthusiastic actions, which is balanced actions and poise. You're certain, you're present in what you do. That's why living by your highest value, you have the least amount of accumulation of judgments. If you live by lower values, you have the most amount of judgments adding. So if you want to add to the 𝐒𝐒-𝐉𝐄 method burden, do low priority things. You want to relieve yourself of all the burden, do high priority things. That's why the value determination process, because really the value determination process, the 𝐒𝐒-𝐉𝐄 method is a specialized version of the value application process. You're finding the pauses. How is it helping you fulfill your highest values? The negatives, how is it interfering with your highest values? They're both those training mechanisms are designed to help you master your life and live by the soul. Same thing for synchronicity. Same thing for prophecy, except in empowering all 7 areas. It's built out of this. You'll see that entire programs are built out of this. All the programs has been thought in terms of all these principles. That's why I get to do what I love every day. And I'm leaving here in about 2.5 hours. We leave here to go to another place in Colombia with my girlfriend.
Thank you, John. Just a friendly reminder, 5 minutes to 5:30.
I got it. Yeah, I have a meeting at 5:30. Okay, is there anything I need to make an announcement of, Elena?
Yes, please. I've grabbed this diagram if you'd like to pull it down. Just let them know about prophecy. I can pull up the.
For those who've been to Breakthrough, you know, it's a mind fuck. Prophecy is too. I've been working and updating and polishing prophecy since 1984. Originally, it was called the Human Quest series. It was 7 one-day programs. I put it in 1990 into 7-day, a longer program into 7 days. It's 1,400 pages of material.